I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come.
Should I call you mister? Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
Don't trust China. China is asshole.
You are gay. You are gay.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. 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 I'm gonna come. 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 Come.
I didn't come in your burrito.
Hello, hi, welcome to a very special edition of Terrible Person simulcast with the John, Jay, and Rich on demand. It's everybody's least favorite version of the Couples Therapy podcast.
Hello.
And because we got so many complaints last time, this is just an alert up top that if you're driving with kids in the car or doing anything like that, there may be some language, right?
That you might not appreciate us saying in front of
so
your kid.
instead of listening to the whole episode with your kids in your car and then deciding to, complain about it, here's your warning.
Yeah.
And alongside with that, www.terribleperson.co. Go there, sign up for the premium episodes. This is a simulcast episode. So this exists both on the John Chain Rich On Demand feed and Terrible Person feed. We haven't done a Terrible Person proper, like a new episode for the last 3 weeks.
No.
Because Kate and I have been on our honeymoon.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
So there's going to be some inside jokes that I'm sure you're going to text in and complain about. But ooh. Shit.
We got a lot of complainers, don't we?
A lot of complainers. So where should we start, Kate?
I'll let you determine that.
So Kate and I, we went on a Virgin Voyages cruise. Voyages.
Yes.
Yeah, we were hanging out with Sir Richard Branson.
Yeah, he was on the boat with
he was
us.
with us. No big deal. And we went to...
He wouldn't even let us on his rooftop.
Yeah, it's bullshit, dude. Richard's rooftop.
Bitch.
You got to pay like $15,000.
Yeah, I read a thing and it was
How much
like,
is it?
Well, you have to get some version of like a suite, and apparently like the cheapest version would be like $8,000, but I think that was for like a less than a 7-day cruise or something.
Oh,
like
really?
That. So I don't know how much it would have been for like our cruise.
Yeah, so we went...
Probably a lot more than $8,000.
We were on the Scarlet Lady, Virgin Voyages in the Mediterranean, right? Is that where it was?
Yeah.
And we left...
And the Balearic.
Balearic. Yeah, we left from Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Barcelona. Where else did we go? We went to Ibiza.
We went to Mallorca.
We went to Mallorca.
We went to Corsica.
Corsica. We went to Corsica. We jet skied through Corsica.
Yeah, that was real. That was my first time I jet ski, and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, so we'll get to jet skis talk in a little bit.
It was so cool.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. I brought you up on TV today.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're
Shout
listening to this on the Terrible Person feed, you'll hear this on Friday. And if you tune in to Fox 10 Phoenix at 7 p.m. on Saturday night, Nick and I have the full 30 minutes. Yeah.
Whoa.
It happened.
Time.
And yeah, basically I was like, Nick, have you ever been on
Nick take over.
Yeah, have you ever been on a jet ski with your wife? And he was like, I'm terrified of jet skis. And I was like, my wife is on land, a crazy driver. And at sea, she is a crazy driver. At one point, I'm so glad I couldn't watch the speedometer from where I was sitting. So I let Kate drive, and I sat on the back. And the option was to hold on to Kate, right, to wrap my arms around Kate, which Kate's 85 pounds.
I am not.
I'm 295 pounds, sopping wet. And with the way you were driving, I would have pulled you off that fucking jet ski for sure. And I thought about giving you a taste of your own medicine and grabbing onto you and seeing so you could experience what I was feeling. Because when you're driving a jet ski, you don't realize because you're just like driving a jet ski.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get through the waters, man. These choppy ass waters.
Yeah, Caitlin was in the shit, dude. She was in the soup. And open ocean jet skiing. So I'm holding on. And they have a little bar, and then they have like a strap to hold on to. And man, I was holding on.
That strap was about to break off.
Because Kate, they gave us, normally you rent a jet ski. I rented a jet ski in Mexico one time, and they made me get my water license. Like I had to take a test it was a 20-minute ordeal, but I had to take a test, and they gave me a temporary license, boating license.
Okay.
And so they teach you how to ride the jet ski and how to like make it fun and slick and fast. And before we took off, they told Kate, they were like, stay on the outside of the person's wake. Meanwhile, we get into the open ocean and Kate is just in the wake. And like I said, if I would have been able to see the speedometer, I would have been doubly freaked out, because you said, how fast is 70 kilometers an hour?
75.
75. And what we figure out? 50 something?
It was like 40 like high 40s, I think.
And you're just wah, and then it's like wah, 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 and we're just hitting and then you do the thing where instead of drive through it, you just like let your hand up the accelerator, so it's like wow, wow.
Because some of those waves were fucking big. I was like, it's gonna fucking drown the engine.
Yeah. And then we were in a group of seven?
Flood the engine, whatever you call it.
7 jet skis in this group. And, basically you'd stop at this beautiful area in the ocean. They'd be like, get off, jump in the water.
Yeah.
And that was...
It was cold, but it was cool.
It was kind of scary, too.
Yeah.
To just, you're watching your jet ski float away from you.
Yeah.
And
then
you're like,
at one point, we stopped, and one of our instructors, she had like a thing of bread with her.
Yeah.
And she gave everybody these like diving goggles that you wear for like snorkeling and stuff. And so she had everybody put on these goggles, and then she like starts like throwing the bread around to like where all the different jet skis are parked, and everybody's like in the water, and you just see like these fish come up and start like gobbling the bread. Then you like look down and you see like all this like coral shit, and you're like, oh my God.
It's like moving and it's
God.
like living and breathing underneath you.
Yeah.
And you're like, what else is in there? Because it's like it's like weird ornate seaweed that I've never seen before.
No, it was definitely like coral of something.
Yeah.
Of some kind, I think.
But it's funny because like I put my head underwater and I was
Mm-hmm.
floating, and for a second I was like, this is great. And then I was like, I've seen this shit on mushrooms, the stuff at the bottom. You know what I mean? I've seen these shapes, and I'm like, this is kind of creeping me out.
I've been here before.
Yeah.
Great.
What?
You have to tell people that like part of me being in the wake wasn't my fault, because there were some crazy ass drivers that also had never driven jet skis before.
Yeah.
Just fucking zigzagging everywhere.
So Kate's enjoying, driving this machine in the water and just, aware of what's in front of her. Meanwhile, I'm like, my head's on a swivel because there's 6 other jet skis with people who've never ridden jet skis before. And I keep thinking we're just going to get plowed into at some point. Because, yeah, like you said, the driver switched at one point, and this lady just went fucking crazy, dude.
It was insane. Like, she came up, like, hot, like, behind us. And she was just so fast. I'm trying to like stay out of her wake and like stay out of her way, and meanwhile she's just like all over the place.
She
so it's
cuts
like
in front
I
of
moved
you.
to one side, and then like she'd come back over there, and I'm like, God damn it. So then I'd move back over to the other side, and then she'd zigzag back over there, and I'm like, just fucking keep it straight.
Yeah, just drive straight. It's much easier.
It was so annoying because I was like finally starting to get the hang of it, and I'm like, God damn it, this bitch is ruining it.
That made us tired. We were very tired that day.
Yeah. I also got a sun rash for the first time in my life.
Yeah, Kate was
I was like,
filled
what
with
is
ailments
happening to me?
on the honeymoon.
I was.
So Barcelona, we spent 2 days there before we got on the cruise.
2 nights, yeah.
And Kate got to see me alpha out on a tourist. We won't describe him in any other way than...
We're not going to tell you what his nationality was.
Yeah, what his nationality was, but we will tell you...
He was really pushy.
He was very pushy, and he was shaped like a bowling ball, and he was about 5 foot.
Yeah, he was probably like my height.
Yeah, and so anyway, we go into this supermarket bodega type place to get water, and this guy, we walk in, and he's like on our ass to get down.
No, he was already at the register, like, I don't know.
Complaining about something, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then, so he sees, like, we walk in, we start walking down the aisles. I think this guy's still at the fucking register checking out. And then, meanwhile, I realize that he's gotten in between, like, me and Grant.
Yeah, and he's like
So
he's on your ass. And there's a guy stocking stocking the water shelves. And he goes just before that guy and starts looking. And we stop. So he's stuck in between the guy stocking the shelves and us.
getting water.
Yeah, and Kate leans down and gets water and takes 2 seconds. And this guy goes, "Excuse me," to get through. And I put my hand in his face with the one finger up, and I go, 1 second.
And then he's like, "What?"
He goes, "Is that how it's going to be, buddy?" And I said, "That's exactly how it's going to be, buddy." And then I called him a crazy name. I called him a name of someone Caitlin and I both know. And it was in such a derogatory, I just referred to him by this person's name. And the guy just was like, "Fuck, these people are going to beat my ass." And and then I let him go ahead of us. I said, "Thank you for being patient. Basically, go ahead." And then I was standing behind him. I was just talking shit.
He's like hot on his heels. Like,
Just
Grant was
talking.
right on his ass.
Talking shit, man.
Like about to flat tire him.
I wanted to man. Because also I
should have flat tired him. That would have been great.
That would have been hilarious. And
like, "Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, buddy."
Oh, excuse me.
You know what's crazy is that was the second day in Barcelona, and it was a couple hours before we got on the ship. And I was anxious about I wanted to get on the ship. And so did you.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole process to get on. And so I think my anxiety just ramped up.
I don't even think that was the day we got on the ship, though, honestly.
That was the first day.
I
I just
think it
wanted to
was
get on the ship. Oh, yeah. So second day I wake up in Barcelona, and we're in this beautiful hotel, like right on La Rambla, like the main street of Barcelona, and it's popping. And Kate's getting ready. She's going to take a shower. And I think, okay, I'm going to go out in the lobby and poop so I can, not stink up the entire room because is European?
Yeah.
Is that where we were? Europe?
Yes.
What's the UK then? Were we in the UK?
The UK is also Europe.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's like synonymous. Because I kept saying
Europe is the continent.
Okay. I don't know what that word means. I'm just kidding.
Like, North America is the continent, and North America doesn't just include the United States. It also includes Canada and Mexico.
Shit, that's facts. You're spitting facts.
I am.
Incontinence. That's what I have.
Probably. Wait, is that
So,
where you pee your pants a
That's
little
where
bit?
you pee and poop. You just can't control it. Incontinence.
do.
Yeah, we both have. Oh, yeah. We got an incontinence story that's going to blow your mind, guys. So I go into the lobby to poop while you're showering because, to do the nice thing because European toilets are trash. I mean,
They weren't that bad.
It's like a cup of water at the bottom. So I'm just dropping piles. It's like a horse pile.
Okay.
Well, full.
All right. Get to the rest of the story.
So after I make room, I see what time it is, and I say, "Ooh, free continental breakfast. This is going to be
Oh my god.
This is going to be amazing. European continental breakfast. Ooh. And I go in, and I'm just like, this is trash.
He's like lifting up the silver plates or whatever to be like, what's in here?
Weird breakfast sausages. The eggs were like weird consistency and just like looked like ground beef, but yellow.
Yeah.
It was broken up like that.
Like super finely.
And so I put a little, like a scoop of scrambled eggs, a little dab of pineapple, and I grab an orange juice. Mm-hmm. And some crappy European bacon because they don't know how to do bacon over there.
It's just different.
It's
more like Canadian, like bacon or like ham.
So anyway, I get like two things on my plate. A huge plate with very little on it. And this lady goes, "Are you here for continental breakfast?" And I was like, "What do you think?" and she hits me with, "Oh, well, this isn't included in your room." And I went, "Oh, damn. Well, how much is it?" Because I was thinking it was going to be like, $5 because you're already paying however much we were paying. $18. 18 euros.
So like $20.
Yeah, 20 some dollars for this shit breakfast. I was pissed, and I came back to the
for
room.
like a scoop of eggs.
And I was, because the reason I was like, "Oh, I can sneakily eat while Caitlin's showering. Like, ooh, this will be nice because I'll be done with food today." You know what I mean? So I was going to sneak it. I was sneaking this in, and then literally they hit me with $18 charge after I already scooped it. Because otherwise I would have said,
"No, never mind.
No thanks."
I mean, I wonder if what she would have done if you would have been like, "Oh, never mind," then and just set the plate down.
I thought about it. There was a part of me,
but you had already told her your room and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
and she just locked it in. But then I was like, I'll keep this secret from Kate as long as possible. And then I go into the room, and I immediately was like, I just spent €18 on breakfast. And
You
I'm
did
sorry.
tell me immediately.
And then we go to check out. The day we check out, they're like, "All right, let's see here. Let's check out your charges." They're like, "You owe us $18 for breakfast." And I
It
was
looks
like,
like you have one continental breakfast.
"I said,
And
shit."
Grant's like, yep.
That was me. Yeah, let me sign for it. Here's a credit card. Cool. Thanks, guys. And again, I was totally just trying to be like, "Oh man, I'm gonna eat real quick. I'm just gonna get a little calorie, and then I won't be as hungry, therefore won't be cranky. Then we can go find somewhere to actually eat." Because the
Yeah.
entire vacation, entire honeymoon, we ate.
No, yeah, we did. But yeah, it was like $100 more to book the
Screw
hotel
that.
with the breakfast. So I
Nah.
was like, I'm not fucking doing that.
Nah.
And I just didn't think to tell you, like, hey, breakfast isn't included.
But I mean, and then you were like, "Yeah, nothing in Europe is free."
No.
And I was like, "What about the bathrooms?" And they're like, "They're €1." Yeah. I was like, "Damn, I got to figure out how to poop in Europe."
There were like a couple. There was like one time we were in France, and this fucking bitchy lady, like, I like go up there and I'm like, hey, can I go to the bathroom, like, or if I buy like a pack of gum or a soda or whatever, like, can I use the restroom?
She said, and she goes, "Sure."
And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. And then like whip out like my card, and she's like, oh no, cash only. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I had to like go and get cash just so basically, so whenever we saw a public restroom, we could, have money to pay for it.
So I will say, I've never been on a cruise before. The Virgin Voyages cruise was awesome. And if we were paying for it, if it wasn't like a honeymoon fun type situation, I doubt we would have had such an extravagant excursion type vacation, right? I mean, we may have, but
No, you probably would have.
but
Just think about it too, because like in some of those cities, it was like we were kind of dropped off in like or the boat was like parked in like a shitty spot.
Yeah.
So it was like honestly better that we did the excursions, because then they just took us to like the good places,
Right.
and not us just trying to be like
but
stressful.
the thing that I was aware of, but I wasn't totally cognizant of until we got on the ship, was the food situation. And the food situation was unhinged.
Like, what do you mean?
So there were 7 restaurants, right?
Oh, you're talking about on the ship.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about off the ship.
No, there were
Okay.
7 restaurants on the ship that you could make reservations for and pretty much go most of the day, have like a really nice breakfast, really
They're
nice
open
lunch.
for like brunch and dinner.
And dinner. And those were amazing. And then there were also like 14 places to eat that weren't restaurants. You could just walk up and get whatever
Yeah.
you wanted. Pretty much almost 24 hours a day.
Yeah, there's like a pizza place that you could go, and it was open until like 2 a.m. or
Yeah. So
whatever.
the first night we make a reservation at the Italian place, and it's 8:45, and the sun doesn't go down
until like 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
there.
It's crazy. And so we're
Great.
having daytime dinner, and we're right at a window, and we're looking at the menu, and the menu has all the 6 different apps. Then it has, I think, 5 different entrees that night,
Yeah.
something like that. And we were like, what do you want? And you were like, this looks good, this looks good. And so the waiter comes up, and I just said, hey, all these apps look great. And what would you recommend? And he was like, oh, I'll just bring like all 4 of them, all 5, whatever you
Yeah.
want. And so we're like, oh, cool. And then he came back for the entree order, and I was like, I'm having a hard time deciding between
These
the
two.
gnocchi and the steak risotto dish. And he was like, order them both. He's basically like, you paid for it. Fuck it, dude. Who gives a shit? He was like, order anything you want. So literally every restaurant we went to.
Grant got like 2 entrees.
Yeah.
Every sit-down dinner we did.
And then it got to a point where I just wanted like a salad, because I
Yeah.
was eating so much just like decadent.
Yeah, there were a couple times where I'm like, yeah, I just want like fruit.
Yeah, or just give me a fucking a ground beef taco. I don't need, I want to go to a Mexican place and eat like beans, like refried beans, and it was like one of those steak Mexican places.
Yeah.
It was like carne asada type place, not like a Jack in the Box shit tacos type thing.
Their cocktails though were really good there. The
Yeah.
coconut drink I had was delicious.
They looked good.
It's great.
I
It's
was
me with like coconut water.
I really, there were a few times where
vodka.
I was like, damn, I'd love to have a drink right now.
Yeah, Grant got mad at me one time because he was trying to order a drink at one of these restaurants.
And it was a non-alcoholic drink.
No, it wasn't. There were like on the menu of each of the bars, restaurants on the ship, they had like a couple non-alcoholic options, and it would always say like non-alcoholic in like little tiny print.
But they
like,
would use
next to it, or like,
they would
underneath
use
it.
non-alcoholic Tanqueray gin and non-alcoholic like booze, and I was like, I've never had this before. This is fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gin, but then
But there was one time where it had the 0 gin in it, but then it also had vermouth, and I'm like, vermouth has alcohol.
and I was like, thanks a lot, drink police.
Because there were other drinks listed on the menu,
Yeah.
and they were non-alcoholic, and they had like non-alcoholic written next to it, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that has alcohol in it, but like, do what you want.
Kate said, "You're not allowed."
I
to have
just
fun.
didn't know if he was like,
You're not allowed to.
I'm giving up fucking my sobriety right
You're not
now.
allowed to have any fun.
No,
on this
I
trip.
like honestly didn't
I'm
know what
just
you were
kidding.
trying to do. I was like, well, what if he like seriously thinks that there's no alcohol, and then like he's mad at me because like I knew that there was alcohol in it this whole time and like didn't tell him.
What if? Yeah. What if?
Like I got super paranoid about that.
What
I was
if-
like, he's gonna be mad at me later. Like I was just like, I don't know if that's what he wants to do. If that's what you wanted to do, then that's cool.
No,
but-
it would have been funny if I would have been like, "Oh, Kate, I think I'm going to order this this Tanqueray mezcal 0 alcohol drink," and then the waiter comes up and I'm like, "I'll take a gin and tonic, please."
Okay.
Yeah, Kate wanted to add alcohol to a drink that didn't have alcohol in it, and it was going to be like a $30 drink.
Yeah. Okay. So it was. He's like, oh yeah, a shot of vodka's $11.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm not paying fucking $24 for a drink, so.
Yeah, can we say that Barcelona was beautiful? Barcelona was beautiful. Barcelona was beautiful.
But Grant thinks it smells.
I think the entire Barcelona smells like toilet smell,
I don't think so.
bathroom smell.
Their airport for sure.
I mean, their whole city.
No, the airport was bad.
There were several places where I just was like, "Oh, Europe just is like it smells like bathroom." Unless we were like way out in like a medieval village, and sometimes even then you get a waft of fucking
Pee.
and poop, and you're just like, "Whoa!"
What is it?
And it's definitely human poop and pee.
Probably.
Yeah. On the flight over to Barcelona, on the flight over to Barcelona, I took Tylenol PM. I took 3 Tylenol PM,
Yeah.
and I was just doing that thing where I was like fighting it, like when you take Ambien and you're just trying to stay awake. And so I literally was like, "Damn, dude, I like got like a half hour of sleep. Now I feel groggy and shitty, and I got like 30 minutes of sleep, and we got a whole day in Barcelona." And I look over at you, and I'm like, "Damn, dude, I'm just not sleeping at all." And you were like, "You slept for like 7 hours."
Yeah, you slept for a long time.
And there
I
was,
didn't sleep at all.
and then there was a poor girl who
held hostage.
held hostage at the window seat because I was just like hunched over, like blacked out. And I think she had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, 'cause she like kept looking over at Grant a couple times, and I could like see her out of like the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh shit, she's probably gonna ask me to like wake him up or something.
Yeah.
But she didn't. But as soon as Grant was like up, then she pretty much was like,
She also brought her own food on the plane, which was
yeah, it was so. I don't understand the
She, like-
people that don't eat the airplane food.
Well,
Like,
it's also-
I know it's not the greatest food, but it's honestly not
it was fine.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's edible for sure, and like both the people that sat next to us on the international flights didn't touch their fucking food at all.
The thing I find most fascinating about long flights like that are you'll be sitting next to somebody and they'll get up and they'll be gone for like half hour. And you're like, "Where the fuck did you go?"
Yeah.
And she did that. She was gone for like 40 minutes, and then she came back and sat
Yeah.
down
Well,
with
her
us.
family was on the plane too, but they were sitting like in a way different area than we
Yeah.
were. So I think she went and was like talking to them and stuff. But still, like, what was she just like standing in the middle of the aisle?
Who knows? I got up for a little bit. I just don't. I like getting up and standing, but I can mule out a 10. Like you saw me. I went up and got it. I peed once on the flight over, and that was just because I felt like it was a social norm situation. Like I should probably get up and pee at some point. I need to stand up, stretch my legs, and then I peed for like 4 minutes.
I get up all the time. That's why like we came back, and on our return flight, I had to sit at the window. I didn't
Oh.
get an aisle seat, and I was like stressed the whole time because I was like, this guy's gonna fucking hate me.
No,
'cause I'm
though.
gonna make him get up like
what
10
was the
times.
what was the day? Was it Mallorca?
Yeah.
The bathroom situation.
Oh, yes. When I almost started crying on the bus ride.
We went to Mallorca and we toured the caves, the underground caves, which were fucking sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Really cool. Except
And-
for the part where they trap you
Oh
at the
my
end
God.
to watch this like classical music concert,
Yeah.
which was really pretty and cool. They like come out on boats and are like riding around on the little lake
But
cave
you're
thing.
you're like a mile underground.
Yeah.
And
Just stuff
and
with
it's
like
these underground
500
lakes.
fucking people.
No, it was way more than 500. It was like 1,000 people.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
It was a lot of people.
And they do this thing. You're in a cave.
Yeah.
And you all sit down on these benches, 1,000 people, and then they kill the lights.
Yeah.
And it's pitch black and it's muggy and it's just like literally in that moment I was like, if something happens, I'm gonna go full crazy.
It's funny because like literally every time where I've had like moments where I'm like, this is fucking sketch, like I don't like this, if something like a natural disaster or something were to go down right now, like we would all be fucked.
Yeah.
It's always when I'm like in Europe.
Oh God,
Always.
it was. I just was thinking, like, man, if I'm trapped down, how long is this concert? It was about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and they literally had boats on these underground lakes come out with all the lights off, and they just had like a couple lights on the boats, and they performed like Vivaldi and a bunch of. It was a string quartet and an organist on a boat.
Yeah,
and it was
pretty cool.
so cool. But then, man, when they hit those lights. Whew. But yeah, the thing I loved about Europe is I loved when the sassy U.S. tourists would get shitty with like the tour guides.
Or just like people that like lived there or whatever.
Dude, the best was there was this group of people that were all together on this. Where were we? Was that Ibiza?
Yeah,
day?
so
yeah.
when we went to Ibiza, we actually spent most of the time going to this little island right next to Ibiza,
Right.
which is like known for like its beaches and natural beauty.
So we go to the second location, and the bus, basically, this group of people, I'll let you paint the picture mentally in your head on what these people were like, but they basically asked the tour driver to stop at the restaurants. Can we park the bus right here and just leave from here? And she was like, no, I can't do that. And then eventually the tourists like strong-armed their way to get dropped off at the restaurants, and the tour guide was pissed. So she gets off and she's like, meet me down here where we were supposed to stop. Yeah. And I'll tell you guys where to go and what to do. And if you want to hang with me, great. If not, you can go explore.
Yeah.
So this group gets off the bus, and our tour guide is like very 200 meters, 300 meters away from the bus. And this one white lady comes up and just starts Karen, gets full Karen mode. And it's like, there's people in the back that can't keep up and blah, 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 blah. And the lady hits her, devastates her. And she was like, well, maybe if you weren't so big, you could keep up with the tour. And we were like, Kate and I just were like, that was the coldest shit I'd seen on vacation. But she was great. She was like a former pageant model type girl, bikini model. She told a story about how she took a pill from one of her people in her group.
And it was like
Molly. Ecstasy. Yeah, but damn. So yeah, I think we need to end the couples therapy portion of the podcast, and we need to move over to premium. Do you have anything you want to say? If anybody has access to a Switch 2,
we want it.
Yeah, hook us up. They're sold out. I'm so mad because Kyle and Noah both have Switch 2s. And I asked Kyle, I was like, how is it? And she's like, I think Easton likes it. He loves it. And I was like, have you played it? And she was like, mm-mm. And I was like, oh.
You're like, why?
Why not?
You didn't even tell the bathroom story.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I got caught up in tourist talk. But yeah, we stopped and I bought Caitlin a pair of pearl earrings.
They're beautiful.
Beautiful pearl earrings from an authentic Mallorcan pearl farm, and or whatever it was. They made us take a tour, and it literally was it was the tour. They were like, go take a tour of the pearl factory, and it's literally one
just
room.
One lady. Apparently Mallorcan pearls, which are not the kind that I got real pearls. Because Grant loves me.
Yeah.
But no, Mallorcan pearls are apparently like handmade pearls.
Yeah. Which we saw one lady.
So yeah, we saw this one lady making pearls.
And then we walked out and it was just this giant pearl store.
Yeah, giant, like
the tour
3-story jewelry store.
Tour was very loose. Like, I mean, so anyway,
You get
we
a
saw we
30-second visual.
We
and then
leave.
you-
I buy the earrings. We do the whole thing, and then we go outside. And one of the ladies from our tour group, as we're shopping, falls and hits her head on the pavement and starts
Oh, yeah.
bleeding everywhere. And everybody's freaking out. So they're like, "All right, we're leaving in 10 minutes. We're gonna take a direct route back." And it was about 90 minutes back to the boat.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're not going to do the sightseeing. We're just going to get you back for medical attention. So everybody's going to get back sooner. And we were like, okay, great. And Kate, literally, we get on the bus and she's like, I have to pee. And then an hour in, she's like losing her mind.
It hurt. Like, I had to pee so bad that, like, my stomach was, like, distended. I had to, like, unbutton my shorts.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. And I was, like, about to cry. Maybe I did cry. I don't even know.
And then you were, like, freaking out. And you were like, I'm just going to pee a little bit. And I was like, I seriously was like, if you need to, do it. We'll get off the bus. You can walk in front of me. We'll rush off the bus. You can walk in front of me. And then when we're off the boat, I'll take my shirt off and you can, like, wrap it around your waist and we're good. It's a bad situation, but we could have dealt with it, and that's what I was planning. I was planning.
That's what you were willing
I was
to
planning
do.
on my chubby ass walking through the port with a shirt off, so you could
Getting questioned by Port
be
Port
like,
Authority.
listen. My wife pissed her pants, so what are we gonna?
We're having a rough time.
Yeah, I can put it back on if you want, but then I'm gonna have a pee shirt and she's gonna have pee pants. So either way,
I just tie it around my pants like a diaper.
but you made it.
I did. Barely. And I was like pushing, like, as soon as the bus stopped, that lady, they were like, oh, we have to get this lady off. And, like, I took it to our advantage that we were sat in the aisle right across from them. So, they got up and I just, like, pretended like I had joined her family for a second.
We're with them. We're with them.
So I just was, like, pushing people too and, like, pushing my way forward. And I heard people, like, making, like, shitty comments about how, like, pushy I was being. And I'm like, I literally don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I will pee on your face right now.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And Caitlin then peed on my face.
I did.
It was a
And
treat.
Grant liked
It was
it.
a little treat. Little golden shower back at the.
Ooh.
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 Kate watched Wicked on the way over. What's your review of Wicked?
It was better than I thought it would be.
Well, you watched it on an airplane, so I feel like that makes a lot of movies better than they actually are.
True, because you're, like, bored. and
You're
have
like held hostage for a while.
Absolutely nothing else to
I watched,
do.
I watched some great shit on the plane. I watched that Robbie Williams movie, Better Man. I want to rent that. I want you to see that. I think you would really like that movie. If you liked Wicked, you would love the Robbie Williams Better Man movie. It's so sick. It's just like you think it's going to be like some little kid movie because of what it is. And then the monkey's like Robbie Williams and he's like shooting up heroin and fucking gonna die. And he's hanging out with like Liam and Noel Gallagher from Oasis. You're just like, what?
what's
But there's a
happening?
scene. Remember in the documentary we watched about Robbie Williams, how he said there was that concert at Nebworth where they hung him upside down and he had a panic attack the entire time. And he like went crazy on stage and like lost his mind. Do you remember that in the documentary?
No.
It was his breaking point where he was like, I'm too fucked up. I'm having a mental breakdown on stage in front of 200,000 people or whatever it was. That scene in the movie, they show him he's suspended upside down and he's a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets down on the ground and he starts seeing older versions of himself, younger versions of himself, like looking at him as monkeys, disapproving, until eventually the entire crowd are monkeys. And he just jumps in the crowd and starts brutally murdering all, like it's a full war scene in the middle of this movie about a pop star. It's so cool.
Oh my God.
It's so fucking cool. Movie rips. We watched The Wolfman.
We did.
Didn't love it.
It wasn't bad though.
It just wasn't. It was really overhyped.
Yeah. And the ending wasn't great.
The ending was bad.
Yeah.
Like, because that's a universal monster. You know what I mean? That's like the Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss.
Mm-hmm.
Same like properties. And the Invisible Man was so much better than.
That.
Yeah, Wolfman was bad. What else did we watch? We watched Novocaine.
Yeah.
That was
pretty
great.
good.
What did we watch when we got back?
We
just-
watched the submersible thing. But
Yeah.
we found out there's two.
Yeah, the one on Netflix is pretty good.
Yeah, that's the one we watched.
It's just so funny because like all these people that worked on this submersible were like, "Yeah, I'll work on it, but I'm not gonna go down with you. I don't trust the technology here." Because one, dude, how insane is it that you're gonna build a submarine that goes into one of the deepest parts of the ocean to go see the Titanic, where the pressure is crazy, and you're like, "I'm gonna build it out of carbon fiber."
It's the strongest material there.
And you're like, no, it's not, dude. Make a tube out of metal.
Yeah.
That's a better option because what do you think? Carbon fiber. And as soon as carbon fiber cracks, like if you have a carbon fiber something, like a brace that's made out of carbon fiber, if it cracks, it's useless because then it's like the integrity of the entire thing is fucked. Like if you have a bike handle that's made out of carbon fiber or a carbon fiber fork and it cracks, it's just a crapshoot on when it's going to fully break on you. And the fact that that thing was cracking for like 2 months and nobody was worried about it.
They did like these sound tests. And like at the beginning of them doing these sound tests to like make sure that everything was good with the carbon fiber, because if it wasn't, they'd hear like these like, I guess, popping noises, right?
Yeah.
And so like the first couple sound tests, like, I mean, it was still sketchy for me. I would be like, I don't know if I trust that. There'd be like a sound pop like every now and then or whatever. And then the last like sound test that they did right before it
was just
imploded,
the whole time
it was
cracking.
just like the whole thing, like the whole chart was just like spiking the entire time. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Well, no wonder.
The fact that that YouTuber went out the day before the implosion and they decided, they were like, nah, we're not going to, weather's too bad.
Yeah.
And then he just went home and he was all disappointed. And then he finds out on the news it exploded.
It's like, well, you could have been those people that just fucking died.
That was remember the billionaire that died in there? His kid got in trouble on the internet because while they were searching for his dad, he went to a Blink-182 concert.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, honestly, it's pretty sick.
It's like, it's what my dad would have wanted.
I'm on a new conspiracy theory that it's actually scary.
What?
Polar shift theory. Have you heard about this? Have you heard anything about a polar shift? So you know how the Earth is like this, spinning?
Like
It's
kind
like
of
it's like
a
it's
slight
yeah,
angle?
and it's on an axis, and it's like there's the poles, and the poles have like two invisible beams. Basically, it's like a pole that goes through. So essentially, what they're saying is all these scientists have figured out there's going to be a polar shift in the next few years, and even if a polar shift is 1 degree, that changes the entire moon cycle, changes the sun cycle, changes how water currents work, fucks it, just will totally change everything.
Okay.
Just the smallest percentage.
Mm-hmm.
And they're people putting together the dots. They're like, we're trying to get good with Saudi Arabia, where we got this great, U.S. has a great relationship with Saudi Arabia. Current administration is going after Greenland, right?
Yeah.
To, maybe we'll buy Greenland, all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they think the scientists have told like the world leaders, this thing's going to happen in 2040, 2045, and it's going to the United States is going to be gone underwater, or just the half of the country is going to be just gone. And they're preparing for an exodus to move people to the new part of the world that's actually going to be functional, which is going to be like the Middle East.
And Greenland.
And like the certain parts of Europe. Yeah, isn't that wild?
Like all the places that are fucked now. So
Well,
like Alaska will be fine.
So like I'll be 59 theoretically in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's a good time to go out.
I'll be 52.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have like millions of dollars, so we'll be in Saudi Arabia.
Ugh.
We'll be doing the podcast live from Saudi Arabia.
I'd rather be in Greenland. We can see the northern lights.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
But also think about that. If everybody goes to like Greenland, all of a sudden Greenland goes from having like 5 people population to 311 million people. There's a Cane's chicken on every fucking corner. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about that's not appropriate for the John Chain Rich On Demand Couples Therapy podcast. So we'll
We'll save it.
Yeah, we'll table that over for the premium. So www.terribleperson.co. Thank you, everyone who's listening on the John Jane Rich On Demand feed.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you, and we're sorry we've disappointed so many of you with this episode. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
With all our inside jokes. Ooh. Shit. But yeah, if you enjoy this and you want to hear like us actually do a podcast,
Then go and listen.
yeah, go listen to Terrible Person. And if you're nasty, go sign up for the premium.
Oh my God.
If you nasty. So anyway, thank you all for listening. Have a great Sunday if you're listening to the John J. and Rich feed. And if you're listening to Terrible Person, tune in to Fox 10 Phoenix Saturday night at 7 p.m. for a half hour of Grant and Nick. You can stream it. I'll probably post a link on my Instagram.
First up to world domination.
Yeah, big time. And okay, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you over at the premium.